Hello lovelies, the sun is out. A new season always brings about new inspiration for your style. However, not all trends are made equally. So today I'm sharing 9 different spring summer trends that I'm skipping and what to wear instead. What I'm choosing has more longevity, is easier to style, and will arm you with confidence that you love your outfit. Welcome, I'm Ziva. Make sure to hit the subscribe and notification button so that you don't miss a video. If you love a classic wardrobe, but also like exploring wearable trends, you're in the right place. The first trend I'm skipping are the lace boxer shorts. We've talked about lace here a lot. I'm a huge fan. I'm in love with a lot of lace trimming in maxi skirts, slip skirts, even tops. Huge fan. However, when it comes to wearing the lace trim shorts in public, it's a hard no for me because these automatically look like you're in your pajamas. It's almost like TMI. I think there are ways to style it and kind of have it work for you. Maybe if it's like a pool day, maybe for something like that. But anytime you have something silky with something lace, the cut and the quality are so important. Line of, is it an intimates or is it something that is actually clothes that you should be wearing out and about? And for this, you don't want to risk it. All of the lace trim shorts that I have seen tend to be not only shorter, but also very thin. So the material already skews more into the intimate section. So this is where you really want to be careful and maybe skip it all together unless you're wearing this at home, which by the way, super cute. If you're looking for that luxurious comfort, instead what I'm wearing is actually, I'm wearing them now, are these comfortable linen pants. These are by J.CREW. There's a whole renewal around comfort, especially in the pants category, that I have never seen before. So we used to have kind of like the leggings squad and also like the leisure suits. However, now we're seeing a lot of elegant trousers that are deliberately comfortable. It's because the resurgence of sporty looks is really in 2026, and I just did a video on how to style this aesthetic, so make sure to head there after this. But you're looking for pants that look easy, especially in the warmer months when life, in theory at least, should feel a little bit more whimsical and like you're kind of just planning things on a whim and maybe going to the beach or the pool. That sounds nice, doesn't it? You want pants that just feel easy but also look very refined. A linen pair of pants like this can be your best friend. It's got a drawstring, so that drawstring action always adds a little bit more of a dress down approach that feels very approachable. On the other hand, there's a reason why the brand Ruti has had such a huge spike. It's because they have mastered the art of that comfortable travel pant. Not only looks effortlessly chic and just like New York City cool mom, but also you can wear it for so many different occasions on any given day, if not every day. I have their twill pants, which I wore most days over the last couple of weeks where I just kind of had a tough schedule, and those pants were phenomenal. Now, if you're looking for pants like these, but you maybe are not ready to spend that much money, then another great alternative whose quality I also trust, because that's key. There's a lot of dupes of these, but not all dupes are made equal, if you know what I mean. So if you want a silhouette like this, then Spanx, you know, is gonna have that longevity and that comfort at about half the price. Number 2 is sheer materials gone wrong. Whoop, look who's here, it's Rita. Not every sheer piece is made equally, and as a matter of fact, there's many times when a sheer piece of clothing can just look very cheap and can just really downgrade your whole look. So you want to be careful that you don't pick like the kind of sheerness that is almost like a tulle, you know, like the tutu material that looks really inexpensive and that almost like borderline threatens to tear at any given moment. You definitely want to skip that. You really want to use the sheer factor in a very strategic and calculated way so that it adds femininity, softness, and a little bit of sexiness. A couple of pieces that I really love that are a little bit more sheer. One is this dress that I've shared before by Fabrique. It's very 90s coded that you pop on underneath the LBD just to give it a lot of really nice movement and that sheerness factor that isn't going to reveal anything. It just adds a softness to the overall outfit. The other way that I love doing sheer is with a lace blouse. Cezanne has a beautiful top that they make year in and year out. I happen to have it in a lavender, and I wish that I had it in the ivory color because I would wear it so much more, but they do this top so well and it always looks really elevated and super easy to wear with denim. Number 3 are crochet sets that feel costumey. Crochet is a trend that always comes in style during the spring and summer, but when you have These very contrived crochet sets can feel a little bit costumey. It's hard to style day in and day out. So I recommend that you choose one piece, whether that is like a bag or a top, or maybe even like a full-length dress, like this beautiful one by Missoni. And I will put a couple of Missoni inspired crochet dresses below in case you kind of want that for the pool this spring summer. Instead, what I'm leaning into are linen sets. This is my newest linen set. Loved it in a black. Usually for linen, I tend to go with lighter colors, and I'm finding that I really love linen and darker this season. But this is by Quince. It's super affordable. Both separates are under $50, and they're just so versatile and easy to wear. And it's easy to pair together with different shoes and accessories and kind of switch around for whatever occasion you might want. But also you can easily wear them as separates, the vest with jeans, or even a silk slip skirt, and then the pants with a t-shirt or a blazer. Literally the sky's the limit with a linen set. And speaking of silk slip skirts, number 4, I'm skipping the cheap either satin or silk dress that the material doesn't quite make the cut. I'm talking about the ones where they're like easily snags and pulls and like the threads just look really cheap, or that when you steam or iron them, it just seems like you can never get it to smooth out and unwrinkle. It doesn't look good. I'm a huge fan of the silk quality from Quince. I will say that I prefer their darker silks. I think that they look better than their lighter ones just because they tend to be a little bit thinner. And if you're gonna go for a light silk material, then again, you're kind of in that almost like intimates part of the circle versus like real streetwear, and you don't want that. Also, because silk tends to be clingier, then if it's too thin, then it's going to cling to you and it's going to show like every nook and cranny that you might have on your body. Like I have a lot of cellulite on my hips and thighs. If I have something that's very clingy to me, like I just know exactly how it's gonna look. Also, this one by Quince, that's a shirt dress that is not clingy. It's just a really beautiful dress that feels very 70s and almost like loungy. I also love the quality of Anthropologie's satin pieces, whether that's a skirt or a dress. I find that they're a little bit thicker and they're really easy to style. Number 5, like Coachella boho, if you know what I mean, right? So we all know that boho has kind of held its ground ever since kind of like the Chloe resurgence. You know, we can all remember like the peachy and kind of like chocolatey tones in the 2024 era where like everybody fell in love with Chloe again. It's really been in the fashion conversation since then. And that paired with some fashion icons like Sienna Miller really promoting it and looking amazing in it. I feel that boho has just really had a moment where everybody wants just a little bit of it in their life, if not more. However, easy to get into like the festival side of the equation. You have to make strategic choices when it comes to adding the boho chic. So if you're gonna have a super ruffly blouse that many different people do and they do it so well, then you can probably pair it quite easily, like a flare leg pair of jeans. It's to look really chic and stylish and not too much like a flower child. But if you start pairing it with a hat and then like one of those like turquoise bejeweled statement belts and Western boots and then like a fringe bag. So if that's your reality and that's just part of your lifestyle, then you do you. Instead, strategically adding a couple of pieces, like for example, that boho blouse is a really great place to start. Fabrique has really beautiful ones. Quince has a gorgeous drapey Georgette one that doesn't wrinkle and is really flattering. I have it in black. Zara always makes beautiful kind of like lace infused or boho chic chiffon-y blouses every single season, as does Zazan. And then another great place to start is with your accessories. So maybe adding a fringe bag, which is one of my favorite ways to add boho. Abercrombie has a really great Ralph Lauren inspired one. Belle Marant also has a really great fringe bag. Wonderful way to add fun and lean into the fringe trend without, again, overwhelming your entire look. We lost Frida. Her brothers are home, that's why. Another singular boho piece that you can add is a tiered skirt. There are so many lovely ones to pick from at great prices from J.CREW, Uniqlo, Quince, Anthropologie, and Ralph Lauren. The 6th trend that I'm skipping are balloon pants. Balloon pants are everywhere. I think it's a combination of the momentum of the more relaxed pants mixed in with the very polarized barrel-like jeans and kind of like a desire to like, what else can we do, right? Like how much more drama can we add to our bottom silhouette? I think this is cute and fun. It kind of reminds me of like the late 80s when MC Hammer was like really hot. Everyone was showing up to school in like these like literal like genie balloon pants. For me, it's too, I wouldn't say triggering, but it's just too much there for me in my mind to like then go and embrace balloon pants. I think if you want to dabble in this trend, almost like a smarter thing to try just to see if this is who you are is to hack it, which is one of my favorite ways to use fashion hacks. Is this is how I ended up finding out that I did in fact want to invest in a cropped blazer, because I kind of did the hack for a couple times and then I realized that I really liked the way it looked. And then instead of always belting my blazer or jacket in that way, I thought, let's just go ahead and invest in a crop jacket. This was years ago. But in this instance, tucking in baggier pants or jeans, tucking them into your boots, specifically like ankle boots that are more appropriate for the season and still secure your pants in. It's a great way to take this trend for a ride and see if like you're really about it and if it makes you feel good and you're like, wow, this was made for me. It's a really cute pair of pants by Ralph Lauren that if I was willing to try it, I would get these. They're really fun. Also, Dish has a really cute pair. That's a really reasonable price too. Something to consider while you're on your balloon pants journey. For me, instead of the balloon pants, it's the capri pants. And I will say that within the capri pants trend, which in my opinion is a classic pair of pants, there are many mistakes that can happen as well. Pants number one is making sure that the capri pant length is flattering for my leg. Like I cannot get away with wearing something that's cropped all the way underneath my knee because that would really shorten my legs. I think this capri pant length works really well if you're 5'8" or taller, if you have very straight, symmetrical legs that, you don't even necessarily have to be thin, but that aren't like too varied in size, like your calf and your thigh are just very much the same size. That is not me, and I would look really strange with this type of pants. The other thing that you want to avoid is the wrong pair of shoes. You don't want to ever do crew socks with sneakers. That takes you into retirement home instantly. On the other hand, you don't want to do like a chunky loafer that just kind of brings a lot of heaviness to a very sleek pair of pants. Your best bet are either like retro sneakers, sling back pointy toe heels to elongate your legs. Before we move on to number 8, I want to share one of the things that has really helped my skin, especially in the upcoming spring summer months, when ideally when we're wearing less cakey foundation and concealer and just rely on very simple sheer formulas to just let your best skin shine, which has been really challenging for me over the last few months. I've been getting quite a bit of hormonal acne along with everything else that comes with aging, like fine lines and wrinkles and sagging, loss of firmness. One of the things that has really helped me has been my Current Body LED mask. Clinical studies have shown major results, including up to 30% reduction of wrinkles. I had about a dozen different LED mask companies reach out to me wanting to work with me in some capacity. And after doing a lot of research, I turned them down because I just didn't have that trust factor there. And I couldn't find enough third-party testing and things that made me feel secure on putting like this mask full of energy on my face. Let me know if you can relate to that. Like when you don't know like what you're going to be putting on your face and it feels like, anything could happen. You're just like, I'm okay. Current Body gave me the confidence to try them because they are third-party tested. They're Veritas certified, which is a very special certification when it comes to these types of masks, because this ensures that every single light bulb on the mask was tested for quality and performance that matched the quality of all the masks that they used the research on. So a lot of times what happens is like once all the clinical tests have happened and they have the results they want, then the rest of the masks might not get checked to the same level of scrutiny than the ones that were tested for the trials. And there's 236 bulbs that have to pass this test per mask. Also 3 different levels of light that can be offered to your skin. Number 1 is the red light, which really helps promote collagen. When we are young and plump faced, we have a lot of collagen running through our body. We really have that cell turnover working for us. As we age, this goes away, which is why it's so key. Number 2, we have the near infrared level. Energizes your cells to encourage them to be firmer and plumper. And the 3rd level is the deep infrared, which really targets some of the damage that has already occurred. And this is where it's really helpful, especially for me where am finding the fine lines and wrinkles and like the slowed collagen and kind of like the deeper lines. But also I'm battling like acne scars and uneven skin tone. And one of the key things this mask helps is even out your skin tone, plump up, encourage collagen turnover, and address those deeper signs of aging that are gonna happen to all of us if we're lucky. So I want to share this with you because I have a 10% off discount code by Current Body Zeba10. And as always, I don't recommend things that I don't genuinely love myself. The 8th trend that I'm skipping is over charming my accessories. We've seen a huge uptick in everything from like putting stuff on your belts to your shoes that is a way to really customize and make accessories really your own. This trend almost reminds me of TGIF. Let me know if you remember this restaurant. I think part of the uniform was wearing vests and hats that had a lot of buttons and like your own custom flair on it. And every time I see somebody with like an over charmed bag, it always takes me back to like TGIF. They used to have like this death by chocolate cake that I loved. But instead what I'm going for is, yes, still adding a little piece of romance and customization, one versus like putting on like everything that you can think of that describes your personality on any given accessory. I really like this beautiful little apple charm by Maison de Sable that I really can resist because it's like just the perfect pop of color. And that leads me to number 9, which is a color trend that I'm skipping. I'm skipping the color blocking trend because even though I'm not afraid of color, I feel like doing a color block in kind of like primary colors that were being shown lately just feels really hard to style and live with day to day. To kind of task yourself with what kind of 80s clashing color combo can I come up with today that's like the red and blue and yellow and purple. The Devil Wears Prada movie too has a couple of outfits that feature some of this color clashing from what I've seen on the trailer. Let me know if you're planning to see it in May. I did a video featuring the most wearable outfits from the movie that I have detected so far, so make sure to check that out after this. Instead of making things harder for yourself and trying to come up with these like really clashy color blocking outfits, I recommend doing softer tones, monochrome, a pop of color such as like the bag charm that I described in number 8, or a monochrome, like leaning into an all white look with just like little accents of neutrals. Not only looks very elegant, but is also super wearable. If you are gonna do monochrome, make sure that you pick the right undertones for the color that you choose. For example, you don't wanna do like neutral taupe with a ton of cool taupes because that can look a little bit mismatched and clashy. I explain much more in this video. I'll see you there. And if you learned something today, make sure to hit the subscribe button.